Hey, what's up? It's Fit Gear Hunter, and today we're going to talk about the Apple Watch after 30 days of use. I've been using the Apple Watch Series 7 for 30 days. It actually passed a couple days ago, and I'm going to just give a breakdown of my experience after 30 days of use. Now, I did a midpoint, 15-day touch point, and obviously the initial, and I have not been a fan of the Apple Watch experience. I haven't been a fan of the form factor. I haven't been a fan of the glass corners and the square design and all the little baby apps and piecing together sort of all your fitness, insights across a multiple of apps. So I'm actually not going to spend a lot of time on this video. I'm going to put the midpoint review down in the middle or down below before the timestamps because it really continues to summarize how I feel. Now, I'll give you a summary right now of the positives and the negatives in my experience so far. So, the positives, I do love the functions that it provides to day-to-day life. I have not gotten used to the form factor. I still don't love the rounded edges and square design, but I love Siri. I set alarms with it. I just feel like set alarm for 7:05, set alarm for 7:06, set alarm for 7:07, and it gets it done. I have actually used the watch to take calls. I have been in the process of a move, so in carrying a bunch of stuff, if I've got one of my kids calling, I just like, yeah, where are you? Why aren't you helping? And I can easily take calls there, but I use it for reminders, remember, oh God, I forgot to get this, go pick this up at the store. And I use it for timers if you just need to set a timer, like if you're cooking something. So that's been great. I love the complications that are on the watch face that you can just dive right into a more detailed screen. I just love that it's sort of really functional. It has a lot of weather tidbits. My water bottle, the Hidrate water bottle, I'll put a link to that review down below as well. The Hidrate water bottle is fantastic. If you have an Apple Watch, it's super duper fantastic because it just sort of tells you, oh, I'm at like 75% of my water goal right now. It just ties it all in and makes it all useful, and the Hidrate bottle is itself awesome. If you're using Apple Maps on a drive, it gives you buzz alerts. So if you actually are doing something else on your phone or another call comes in, you'll still be able to see on the watch what your next turn is. That is great. The screen is obviously beautiful. It's vibrant. Everything works really well with that. I do think the feel of it is it's a high quality feeling of a device. It's like solid and hardy. And I think those things are great. And I do love that you can access a wealth of different apps. I will continue to say the WOD Insight app is the best app for CrossFit. They are updating it. I'm working more actively with the developers now, and we're evolving the leaderboard. We're evolving some of the how-tos. I'm going to help them sort of do some videos for promoting it amongst gym owners. But I love the timing metrics. I love seeing how long it took me to do subsections of a workout, and then it automatically just keeps pace with how many rounds I've done. If you have an AMRAP for 20 minutes, you just sort of swipe through when you finish each movement, and it'll tell you at the end what work you've done. If you're in a sort of a gym competition, you don't have to count it. And think of the Open coming up. You don't have to count anything. So WOD Insight continues to be awesome, and they are getting more and more awesome. I love SportsTracker because I feel like it's a really in-depth training load over time. It does track, your fitness trends, your fatigue over time. I love Athlytic because Athlytic will give you sort of the Whoop experience. It'll give you the recovery score using the heart rate variability that flows through from the Apple Watch automatically. It can't forcibly track more heart rate variability. It just takes what the Apple Watch is already bringing in. Sleep analytics, SpO2, pulse ox analytics, and then your exertion level for the day. When you track a workout, it automatically flows into Athlytic. So a lot of times you can track a workout in the workout app, and it just sort of flows out to all these different pieces. I love AutoSleep. That's a great app for sleep analytics, and it's similar to Athlytic, but just different. So I love all those pieces of tracking my wellness, recovery, sleep, and my fitness training. But what do I not like? I don't like that you have to go to a bunch of different apps. I honestly find myself not checking stats. Now, I have been wearing it alongside the Garmin watch series and even the Huawei GT3. So I have been wearing it alongside other watches. But when I compare it head to head with an all-in-one true comprehensive sports tracking watch, especially Garmin because they are doing even more enhanced capabilities than I believe it could be even put together, I don't tend to look at the stats. I don't tend to look. I mean, it is sort of like a, curiosity on some aspects, but I don't tend to look because I just feel like you're going to 12 different places, and when you're busy and you're jumping into the day and you're just hustle, and if you have kids, you don't want to have to look a bunch of places. You want the one device to tell you everything. And after 30 days, that has not changed. It maybe has gotten even more fatiguing, where maybe it was cool at first, but then I'm just like, I don't feel like checking that, or I don't feel like going to that, especially if I know there's another option on my other wrist that tells you everything you might want to know and does it in a good job. I don't continue to like the design of it. I don't like the watch face limitations. Like, why can't they design watch faces that have a lot more breadth to their overall design flow? I mean, you really can't get what you want, or in my opinion, I can't get what I want. You have analog and you have sort of not useful digital, and I like a big digital watch. Let me have more control. I don't like the limited watch faces, even if maybe there's some way you can tell it. The battery life is horrific. The Garmin Epix just came out as I'm doing all the testing on that. The Garmin Epix is really spot on with always on at 6 days, and well beyond that if you have just the gesture control, versus like 22 hours or something like that on the Apple Watch. It's just beyond its time anymore. It's no longer acceptable for it to be that slow. So, you know, the messaging, I don't use some of the functional aspects. Like I don't respond to a message on the watch, so that doesn't matter to me. I'm going to respond by typing it on the phone. So all these things, you know, after 30 days, I think it is a really cool smartwatch. It is a really cool sort of quasi phone experience, computer experience on your wrist, but it is not a really cool sports tracking, recovery tracking, and wellness tracking on your wrist, unless you're willing to go to those other places. And maybe this is just me and how I sort of approach information. It's just different, and we're all different. And the Apple Watch is a super capable thing, so you can at least piece together, sort of gobble together what you could possibly need. But at the same time, it just doesn't compete, in my opinion, with the true sports tracking. So that's it. That's the 30-day review. We're not going to look at any of the details. We're not going to look at the watch. I did all that before. I'll post those in the description below. You can go look at the watch in those videos. You can see sort of what I'm talking about. But this is the 30-day review for the Apple Watch in general. I happen to be testing the 7. And I will say one thing. The optical heart rate accuracy is unmatched by any other watch. I have already begun testing on the Epix and the Fenix 7. It's got the new Elevate 4.0. I'm going to begin testing on the Huawei GT3. Nobody is as accurate when just wearing the watch on the wrist and even doing high strain, high risk strain workouts like CrossFit or high intensity interval training. It really is awesome there. And even at the same time, it is definitely not a compelling of enough feature for me to lose out on a comprehensive platform that gives wellness and sleep and recovery and all my sports training, all my training load, all my recovery time aspects in one device, one app experience, and I can see it all in the one watch, scrolling through the one set of metrics without piecing it together. Because you can't even get a lot of those apps that I mentioned. You can't get all the metrics on the watch itself. So with that, it's a Fit Gear Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.